Markelle Fultz, and I'm up to my neck in the recruitment process. Markelle Fultz. Welcome to episode 2 of Copper Hoops, My Life documentary.
Friday, there's no school today, but Markelle is up, headed to a gym, any gym that's open, he wants to go to get a workout in. So he's headed to the gym, and we're headed to Laurel, because they were open and had space available for him to get a workout in with his trainer this morning. Come tell us what you're about to do.
Well, try to work on his jump shot and try to teach him some small things on how to be a better player. That's primarily what we're going to work on today. And maybe if he gets better, he'll be as good a shooter as me. Make sure.
Just got finished working out. It's about 12:10. About to go home, get something to eat, and clean my room.
Grandma house on the feet. That's all he do on a Saturday. Where you going, Phil?
About to go with my friends. About to go to the gym. Get some work in.
Get some work in? Okay. Hi, Ross. How are you? Where y'all going? No. Y'all gonna play basketball? On the way home from school, Markelle just got finished his school day. They got out at 12:50. Then he went to SAT prep. And then to an hour and a half hot yoga session. How did hot yoga feel today, Kel?
My second year in a row doing it. It wasn't too bad. It was my first time back in a while. It was very hot. I had to get used to it. So it wasn't that bad for my first day again. So pretty good.
Where you on your way to?
Get a haircut. I need one really bad.
Reality show?
Niggas. At the barber shop, Markelle's getting a haircut. He's gonna cut that.
Shoot, I done took half of it off by just picking it up.
Somebody's about to get a haircut. Cut down. How long you been cutting Markelle's hair?
Since he was about five. Yeah, about 5. He needs to get this carpet cut off. So he's a great kid. He's very humble. Always been humble. You know what I mean? And the sky's the limit as long as he stays focused and do what he needs to do. You gotta zoom in on his head.
Markelle Fultz in his first driver-driven car. 16 years old. Atlanta, Georgia, y'all. Buy a battery, you know, I burn this joint up. Want to buy a battery, Mark?
Another one here.
You got one? Watch.
I got like 582 minutes on that. You gotta do is stop it.
Come get you some footage.
I got turn the footage.
Here's our drive. Nice gentleman. Nice hat too. What type of car is this, my man?
This is an MKT town car.
Town car. Nice. Lincoln.
Right. You all are going to the JW Marriott, right?
Yep, JW. I guess, yes. JW Marriott, where we at? How far away are we?
Take about maybe a little over 30 minutes and there's traffic.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Line of traffic bad too. Markelle's a little nervous, but he'll be okay. He always put one toe in first.
Where your charger? Yours.
Okay, can you get used to having a driver?
Yeah.
Big time. Shout out to Adidas. Playing real fair early.
Just got here. Adidas Nation. Got all the stuff set up. Real nice, man. Time to show my talents. On my way back home from Adidas Nation, it was good. I'm here a little early. It's a little early.
Like a cameraman, man.
Yeah.
You might change your name.
What? Nope. On my way back.
So, Markelle, what was the big surprise of the weekend at Adidas Nation?
I say the coaches there. The NBA coaches they had there, I wasn't I wasn't really thinking it was going to be that many NBA coaches there.
Okay, and so what do you think about Dennis Smith as a player? Obviously, you got a chance to chat with him a little bit. What do you think of him as a player?
He's a great player. Has a good motor. Very talented. So yeah.
What do you think the difference between the Adidas players as opposed to the UA players?
The defense part really play a lot more D on the Under circuit. Other than that, it's pretty similar, but I say that separates us.
Now, how many UA guys were able to get an invite to this prestigious Adidas Nation event?
There was 3 of us. So yeah.
3, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, Adidas Nation is over now. When you get back home, I know your AAU team is playing in a local event. What will you be doing?
I'm going to be with my tutor at my school, doing some extra work and making sure my grades are straight.
What was the biggest surprise about the event?
The amount of gear we got and just the coaches, like I said. Just really the coaches and all the talented players that were here.
So you think it was a great experience this weekend and you look forward to going back in August?
Yeah, for sure.
Now tell us exactly what happens in August when you go back. Do you know?
No.
Well, it's my understanding that it'll be 2 17U teams, and then it'll be 4 other teams that'll be European. Well, actually, it'll be 2 16s and then 2 European teams.
Yeah, like 20 minutes. Thanks for coming.
Everybody in the center. Yeah, man. Just talk to them about the experience, how you coming up, coming up, boys, girl wise, you know, all the work we've been putting in to get you where you are, and then, you know, leading up to all the things we keep talking about, far as the teams you play around with, and stuff like that. This take off. But see, it's because I want them to understand that you don't have to play big teams to get, it's just hard work, man. You know what I'm saying? All the work you put in, trying to spoil them right. What's her name? Miss Spalding? What was her name?
Mrs. Spalding.
I hold the ball, John. Everybody take a seat. Take a seat. Everybody back this way. Mike, this out, Mike. All right, good. If y'all don't know who this is Markelle Fultz, man. Fultz. I coached him when he was your age. All right, so now he's like he's highly recruited in the area. You know, one of the best kids in the area. He was most likely played in the WCAC as a junior. All right. Didn't play varsity last year as a sophomore. Played JV last year. Played junior with all the work in, and he's reaping a lot of his benefits now. So, Markelle, let's take it over. Everybody give him a round of applause.
Get a jersey.
No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
I started when I was like 5 years old playing basketball. I always loved the sport. Pretty much like y'all really. I started real young, playing Coach Reggie. And I was up my little Mustangs though. I just always worked hard. Everything I did, I wanted to be the best at what I did. It really just, in practice, I was the one trying to be first in sprints. I was just trying to be first in everything that I did, making free throws. But I just been working on my life. I made the I didn't play on the top team. I didn't play with BCSO, team takeover like y'all. I played with the unknown team, but I worked hard. Almost as hard as I worked to play with BCSO, team takeover. I always had that push me every night. Once I got to high school, I played freshman. I was in practice every day, being the best player that I could be, pushing my teammates, being a leader. And just doing what the coaches asked me to do every time. Just being a good listener and doing what they asked you to do. And once I got to my sophomore year, I didn't play varsity. I wanted to, but I played JV. So I did the same thing. I just listened to my coach, worked hard, got in extra work after school with a trainer. Make sure I stay in shape. I ate healthy. Then last year as a junior, or this year, I played varsity and I really dominated my competition league. I'm still not on the top team. I'm not on the BCSO or team takeover. I play with BC Bulldogs now. I'm really elevating that team to the top level. It's just, if you want to go high, real high in basketball, you just got to listen to your coach and play as hard as you can. That's all I can really tell you. Being though, I'm one of the best players in the area now, just because of all the hard work I put in. I didn't get anything to give it to me. I just worked hard every day. I had the basketball with me everywhere I went, no matter it was to the playground, just walking outside. I had a basketball with me, just dribbling it, always trying to get better. That's all I can really tell you.
Yeah, so a lot of things when he was coming up, he always worked hard. He always worked hard. One of the guys when he was on my team, he was everything. He played point guard, played 2, played 3. If I asked him to play 4, played 4. If I asked him to play 5, he played 5. Whatever you need to do on the court, that's what he did. Very unselfish ball player. And if you see him playing now, the same way he played when he was young. He always worked hard. He always put, always, like I said, my thoughts of him, always seeing him with a basketball in his hand. Whether it's coming to practice, dribbling around, that's what he had in his hand. So he's the epitome of hard work, of putting time in when he was younger to get where he's getting now. He has a lot of offers, but he wants offers on top. He wants offers. I thank Markelle for coming up here to talk to my kids. He did a wonderful job. It's all about giving back and all the hard work he's put in with growing up as a kid. I had him when he was in the 5th grade. He's the same kid, just worked hard, always had a basketball in his hand. And I always enjoy kids like Markelle and to see him grow and mature to what a young man that he's growing into, getting all the accolades that he's getting. Still a humble guy, and I really appreciate him coming out, being the player he's been. Thanks.
Capital Hoops here, Keith Williams. Keith, you're a major part in Markelle Fultz's life. Before we get started, why don't you just kind of talk about what your relationship with Markelle and his mother is?
Well, it started with Ebony, obviously. I'm 2 years older than Ebony. We've known each other since high school. And at the time, he was 7. She was looking for a trainer, and a friend of hers told her either it would be me or Mike White. And I believe somebody else told her that she should bring him to me. And when she first brought him to the gym, he reminded me of Markelle Starks, another kid that I had. And he had the same look as him in terms of he was a really young kid with really big feet. And I told her, I've seen that look before. And so she pretty much threw him in. And most people know that when they first start, most kids cry. I believe he did cry his first time working out. And the reason why they cry is because what I try to do is we work 2 hours extensively and normally no breaks. I try not to give any breaks, so I figure if you can make it through 2 hours of this workout, a game is a cakewalk.
So Markelle now, obviously, he's grown from that 7-year-old kid you know to a rising senior, one of the best players in the area here. What do you think what's done it for Markelle? Why is he where he is today?
Well, obviously, he has probably one of the greatest work ethics I've seen around, other than maybe Kevin Durant. He was one of the few kids that would work out with me in the morning about 9:30, 2 hours. He would play in an AAU game, and I never watched little kids that much. And he would ask his mom to come back. Now, at the time, I charged. So she was like, well, you have to ask him because I don't have the money to, pay him again. And obviously when you get kids like that, of course, I was like, come on back. So I think his work ethic has propelled him to this level.
As Markelle, makes his big decision for college, what are you guys talking about? What's important to Markelle, and what kind of guidance are you giving him?
Well, for me, I want him to be the player as a freshman. I want the ball to be put in his hands. I believe he's ready. He's mature enough to have that. And I think for his mom, she wants some people who she can trust, who are going to continue to push him like she would and like I would. So I think the biggest thing is style of play and how comfortable we are with the coaching staff.
Markelle, everyone knows Markelle's journey once he got to DeMatha. He played on the freshman team as a freshman, on the JV as a sophomore, and then obviously on the varsity as a junior. Do you think that process kind of helped him, the fact that maybe he was humbled a little bit and played on the JV team as a sophomore? I mean, what's your take on the whole situation?
Me personally, I didn't like it, but I think overall, having to play freshman and JV, he had to play all positions. So I believe it helped him as an overall player. And I think he became a leader on the JV. So I think, all in all, I think it was a good experience. I think it helped him.
This summer, Markelle's got all kinds of stuff going on, from AAU to all the big national exposure camps and everything. What do you think? What do you think this summer is going to do in terms of helping him for his senior year?
Well, I think nationally it's doing everything. Me personally, I think he'll get a chance to solidify himself as one of the top 20, 15, maybe even 10 players in the country. And it'll propel him where his senior year should be, I won't say easy, but he would have went through so many things, from Adidas Nation to Top 100 to Steph Curry camp, the UA All-America, to Adidas Nation in California, Elite 24, Murray Klein, Big Strict, which is in New York. So I think he'll be battle tested. I believe kids are not as tested as when I came up.
Real quick, tell us your story a little bit.
I went to public school. I went to Crossland, left Crossland, went to Mackin Catholic, which is now closed down. And I think I took off in the 10th grade there, all boys school. And then the coach, his son got sick and he left the job, and I came back to Crossland. I was starting two guard on the 1986 state championship team. I went to Maryland Eastern Shore after that. I was two-time Black College All-America. I was MEAC Player of the Year. In 89-90, I tried out for the New Jersey Nets. I played pretty well, made it to their final cut. And from there, I was, trying to find myself. And I found myself in training. The first guy I actually trained was Moochie Norris. He was coming up. And Troy Weaver, who's now with Oklahoma City, had asked me to do some things with him. And I think, that's where I found myself. And now I've been training kids for about 17 years.
Real quick, talk about some of the memorable kids that you've trained in your 17 years.
I've been blessed to have some really good ones. Obviously, my first big name was Steve Francis, first big climb. But I've had Tywan Lawson, I've had Kevin Durant. My main man now, DeMarcus Cousins. I've had Lonnie Baxter, Chris Wilcox, Delonte West, David Hall. I mean, I could go on and on. I've had, I think, 20 NBA players.
Talk about your relationship with DeMarcus Cousins. How did you guys, link up? And
I met him when we first had the Nike deal. Rob Jackson was the director of the Blue Devils. And I met him and his mom in Tennessee. He was a rising 11th grader. And it was a slow process. His mom trusting me. It was a slow process. But once she did, he's like a son to me. And he's done a lot for my career as well. Really good kid, though. Really good kid.
Last impression on Markelle. What's Markelle Fultz got to do to make it to where DeMarcus Cousins is right now?
Just got to keep working. I think he's already a really special player. I think he just got to keep working. I think his story, I think he's a likable kid, so it's no BS. Just keep working. I think he'll be blessed to put on that hat one day.
Keith Williams, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
I'll be going on a visit this weekend to Kentucky, so I'll be keeping an update on that. So,
you excited about that visit?
Yeah, real excited.
I know Kentucky's been one of those teams you mentioned a couple times.
Yeah. So,
what are you most looking forward to when you go down there?
Just experiencing the campus and how good it is, and then hopefully picking up an offer when I leave there. And I just want to meet Coach Kyle and get a good relationship with him and probably look at going there. I'm Markelle Fultz, and I'm up to my neck in the recruitment process.